Hello, I'm Mario, and greetings from the Rio Grande. I'm currently in Texas, and I'm in a Texas state park. This is Falcon State Park, and over off in that direction, not too far away, is Falcon Lake. And Falcon Lake is the result of damming up part of the Rio Grande River. And then so just beyond that is Mexico. And so I'm not going to be making any trips to Mexico, at least not in this video. And what I want to do is just kind of go over the park in general and kind of some of the chores that I need to take care of today. Nothing too dramatic, but just a little bit of RV lifestyle type stuff. In fact, there's some nearby towns. So there's a town actually called Rio Grande City, or Rio Grande City, but the town that I need to go to is a little bit closer, about 25 minutes drive from here, and that is the town of Roma, Texas. And what I need to do is maybe just set up some general delivery at the post office. So not a huge chore, but that's something I got to take care of, and I'll let you know how that works out. Another thing is that the lake is really low, and what results in that is I have low water pressure over here. And so what I need to do is, or what I have been doing rather, is just filling up my storage tanks, and I run the pump with the water hookup. So I currently have the water hooked up, and I haven't upgraded my hoses yet. So I'm still using the Camco hose here. I'm going to replace this. So I just got my regular filter and just have this on, but then I also run the pump, and so that takes the water out of the holding tank, and it just adds pressure. So I don't necessarily have it on during the night or whatever, but if I want to take a shower or I'm trying to fill the dish pans with water, I'll have the pump on. It's a lot faster. Another thing I need to kind of take care of, and asphalt seems to be a little bit wet, but I need to take care of, there's an issue in here. So inside here, there is a bolt, and I just want to check the torque on the two bolts for my differential. So just a couple little things I want to take care of. But there's another thing that I want to include in this video, and it's not really too fantastic, but what happened was, let me start here. When I arrived at the park was a couple days ago, and it was in the afternoon, about 2:30 in the afternoon, and I was pulling the trailer with my Chevy Colorado here, and I came around the first turn and I saw a wild animal on the side of the road, and I didn't think too much of it, but it seemed, it piqued my interest because I wasn't sure what it was. And so long story short, I identified it as a Jaguarundi. So I don't have any pictures. I wasn't running the camera or anything like that. But what I do want to include in this video, and I'll cut to it. I'll talk about it a little bit later on in the video, maybe towards the end. But yeah, Jaguarundi. So it's Jaguarundi. Like I mentioned, I don't have any photos. I don't want to get any copyright issues or anything, but I did some research, and that is what I saw. And what's so special about that is that they're really not supposed to be this far north. So like for instance, Texas Parks and Wildlife, they'll tell you that those things don't appear here. And yeah, so I'll go into it. I actually took a couple trips to go look for some prints and stuff like that. So we'll also include that in today's video. But what I want to do now is, let me go ahead. I'm going to start getting the tank full, and then I have to get my tools out, and that can be quite a little chore. So maybe it's not a huge chore, but I got my tools back here, and that's not going to be a permanent thing. It's been working out pretty good. I shouldn't be complaining. But yeah, if I want to get at it, I got to kind of move things out of the way. So I can get my ladder and my tools are all back here. So yeah, no big deal, but I got to get that out of here. And with the ground being wet, it's probably not a bad idea to put some coveralls on. So anyway, yeah, I just need to get a good size socket and my ratchet and an extension and go at it. Yeah, it's going to take a minute for this tank to fill up, so I'm going to go ahead and get it flowing. Got the water running in the background and it's making a little noise. But the idea here is just check this and make sure they're not, yeah. So it was loose before, but not really loose. And so it just needed to be snugged up after I torqued it the first time. So this one's not coming undone at all. So that's good. But yeah, let's check this side and make sure. Let's see, maybe about right here. And good, they're snug, so they didn't move. The last time I checked them, they did move a little. It should only be getting warmer, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring my windbreaker in case it rains a little bit. And I don't know, I think it's maybe the mid 50s, but I got my trusty thermometer here. Let's see, I guess 58. Yeah, 57 degrees or so. And but yeah, let's head on over to Roma. So currently the primary goal is to get up general delivery for the United States Postal Service. I got to go to a US post office. And the idea there is to make sure that I have the capability for general delivery. I have a couple projects going on and I can't get all of the supplies I need from, you know, shopping from Amazon or necessarily doing like in-store pickup. And so what I need to do is go ahead and try to set up general delivery. Hopefully I can handle that over in Roma. If not, I'll have to go over to the next town, which is Rio Grande City, I think is what they call it, Rio Grande City. And so at any rate, I want to avoid having to go far. I'm not really, so I could buy some groceries, but the only thing I need is chocolate milk. There's a Dollar General that they just built in Roma. So I'm going to try to get everything done in Roma, and we'll see if I have to head out all the way out to Rio Grande. But yeah, this park is pretty nice. It's been very quiet, and I have noticed, like, so currently this loop here that I'm in, it's got full hookups. So I have sewer hookup and all that sort of thing. They also have other options for water only. I don't know if they have water and electric. I think they might, if I recall correctly. But what I wanted to mention is that, let me make sure I don't get hit. What I wanted to mention is this, that now they close the gate every night, but I think at 10 o'clock. But if you showed up late without a reservation, they do allow walk-ins. And so you could maybe even just go to a site, like say you didn't have internet connectivity or whatever the reason, but you could just go to a site and stay there one night, check in by 9 a.m. the next morning at the office, kind of heading that direction right now. And yeah, go ahead and pay for the site and then maybe relocate to another site for a longer period of time. But anyway, they allow walk-ins. That was just a long explanation for that. And right here, this is where the park headquarters, the park entrance is at, and that's where you would check in. But yeah, let's head over to Roma. Like I said, the plan is to hit up the post office and the Dollar General in Roma. Not a lot of things to take care of, but let's see how it works out. I'll give you a peek on what Roma looks like. All right, well, it was only like...
Arriving at Post Office Roma, on the left.
It was only like the post office itself was only like a couple miles away from the park. And I guess I knew that, but I had planned it out before I left the previous place I was at. I programmed it into my Garmin RV890. And so at any rate, the town of Roma proper is 25 minutes away from the camping area, but this is the post office here. So let me run in and see if they'll hook me up. I don't know. We'll find out. Stay tuned. All right, well, that's great news. They do accept general delivery, and they also will take UPS or FedEx. And so with the post office box, usually they don't, like UPS or FedEx, I don't know, maybe times have changed, but the way I always understood it was that you couldn't get like UPS or FedEx to deliver to a post office box. But at any rate, they will accept UPS or FedEx here for up to 30 days via general delivery, and so also, via regular mail. So at any rate, that's awesome. And then he gave me the address here, which it was on my mind to make sure that I get it, because if it's UPS or FedEx, you have to put the street address. But if it's just general delivery and UPS, if the United States Postal Service is handling the mail versus a private carrier like UPS, then all you have to do is general delivery and the zip code. But at any rate, I got the street address, so that with attention general delivery should get me what I need. So when I went in there, I asked them if they accept general delivery, and I also asked them if I needed to fill out a card. In this case, they said, no, you don't have to fill out anything, because there is like a little waiver form for them to accept the stuff, but he said no, not a problem. And so I just wanted to make sure that I mentioned that to you guys, that just because they accept general delivery doesn't mean that you're all set to go. There may be a little process that you have to go through. So that's great news. All I got to do now is just get some chocolate milk, and hopefully the Dollar General will take care of that. So that's going to be a quick stop. Okay, here it is, Dollar General. Hopefully they have whole chocolate milk, because that's really what I'm hunting for. But then I'm going to park here, and then we'll figure out mileage back to the state park, and also mileage from here to Roma proper, because this wasn't really a big long trip, and that's kind of cool to know if you're actually staying there at Falcon State Park. So I wanted to calculate how far it was back to the state park, and the GPS has me going on a dirt road for a good solid 4 miles before I can get back onto the highway. So I'm going to try to get this thing rerouted.
Turn left on FM 2098.
All right. Okay, so finally I tricked, I had to drive around the parking lot. Finally I tricked the GPS into thinking I'm actually on the highway by pointing in the direction. It had me going all the way to make a U-turn, or it had me going out in somebody's backyard. I don't know. Anyway, 6.1 miles to get to my actual campsite. So that's kind of cool. And the post office is in between. So that's some convenience to know. All right, yeah. And then so downtown Roma is 10 miles away from here. So it's saying, another 15 minutes or so. And so that's pretty cool. So let me see if I can get some chocolate milk from here, And then I just want to take a look at Roma and just kind of show you guys around. I don't know, we'll just drive around, see what the streets are like. All right, well, as it turns out, for some reason, this General Dollar store is closed, and I guess I'm heading down into Roma to look for some chocolate milk. And actually, I didn't realize, so about 12 miles from here, I had a grocery store saved into my GPS. So when I was doing my research, I didn't think I had found anything as close as Roma. But apparently Roma's
on US 83.
So another 10, 12 miles, and there's a lot of stores and stuff. So let's go check it out. And then the other thing that I'd like to do is at the end of the video, then the other day I took a little hike, and I went out to that footpath that went by nearby where I saw the Jaguarundi, and I also previously had taken a walk down to the edge of the water where the lake is, and I found a little bit of some tracks over there. So at the end of the video, I'm going to cut over and show you guys that stuff. But right now, let's go see what Roma has to offer. So we're in Roma, and there's other towns nearby, so I'm not sure. We might even cross over into one of those other towns. I'm not positive. The only names that I can remember is Roma and then Rio Grande City. And I think Rio Grande City is still several miles away. So at any rate, yeah, I went online and I looked at different ratings. So I marked this one grocery store. It's still about a mile and a half away. So right here in Roma, and 25 minutes, 20 minutes from the campground. So this place is pretty big. They got some major stores, looks like.
Arriving at Groceries Border Town on the right.
So here is the grocery store, and I guess this is a relatively new grocery store also, called Border Town, and then there's an Ace Hardware right next door. And I think what I'm going to do is, to make this trip worthwhile, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to get some provisions to last a couple of days more. So maybe some bread and some lunch meat and that sort of stuff. Because I got some leftover steak, and I have enough food for one more sandwich. So anyway, I'm going to grab like a light grocery run, maybe some vegetables. We'll see what they have. All right, so this is a pretty cool little stop. I'm glad I came out here actually. So I picked up just enough supplies to last me a couple of nights. So I'll mix some of the stuff that I already have. Like I mentioned, I have some leftover steak and enough to make one sandwich. And I have some canned foods and things like that. So I picked up some sausage, I picked up some sliced lunch meat, and I picked up some bread. Now the bread was a little bit slim pickings. That wouldn't have been the bread of my choice, but that's kind of what they had to offer here. And but the true sign of a quality place is some place that has whole chocolate milk, and so they had that, so I scored mission accomplished. And yeah, so I found an apple, so I grabbed an apple, and yeah, that'll tide me over. Okay, so I think I accomplished my chores, at least for today, so I can head back to the trailer and enjoy the rest of the afternoon and the evening. I think it's about 2 o'clock right now. But what I want to do is I want to show you what was going on with the Jaguarundi. Now, I am not a tracking expert as far as like looking at prints and understanding what they are, but I endeavored to go see if I could find some tracks of large cats in the area. And I think I found some, and I found some a couple hours after I saw the Jaguarundi. I went down to the lake and I found some tracks that I believe are cat tracks. And then I went out the next day and I found more tracks. So anyway, I want to cut over to what I found. My camping site is just right over there. I mean, the turnoff to get to the camping loop is right there. And I'm at a trailhead here. And I think if I go directly out this way and turn left, then I can get to the water. But if I turn right, then I'm going to be close to the park entrance, and down that direction, just before you make a left-hand turn, that's where I spotted the Jaguarundi. And with it, it's been raining off and on. Right now it's just kind of drizzling, but it's been raining off and on a little bit last night, started last night. And so what I'm hoping for is maybe I can get some tracks. It's about 24, 25 hours after I spotted that other jaguar, after I spotted the Jaguarundi. And so I just want to head off in this direction here, and well, let's see what we can find. I don't really have high hopes, but you know, if you don't look, nothing ventured, nothing gained. So there's a right turn here, but I don't think, according to the map, that's not the right turn I'm looking for, but we might come back to this. I'm looking at the tracks. I'm going to see bicycle tracks. I see foot tracks. I see evidence of a little game trail here. I think this way is the direction to get to the lake. So I just want to go up to the water's edge and see if I have any luck like I did yesterday, looking for you know, big cat tracks, or at least maybe some bobcat or even coyote. I've been hearing coyote during the day. I'm still heading towards the water, but I did spot some tracks here. So this seems to be some sort of hooved animal. I don't really recognize it, but maybe I can take some pictures and then try to do some research on it. This seems totally crazy to me, but I just spotted something. So I was walking forward, I saw it, and then so I just kind of backed my steps out, and then so I'm going to try to reapproach it. But it looks like a feline track. Like I said, I just took a quick glimpse at it. So this is kind of like, you get to discover it like the same with me. So I just want to kind of edge up, because it seemed to be going actually along the trail. I see plenty of tennis shoes and boots, but let's see. Okay, there it is. Looks canine. It's right here, but there's no claw, and there's just one of them, and it's pointing off kind of that direction. So I don't see more than one yet, but I'm going to get my camera phone out and see if I can't do more pictures. So that print is directly here to my left, and I'm looking forward, and I looked back. I don't see any other evidence, and so I'm going to go ahead and move forward. I mean, right here, there's game trails heading off that way, and I can see back in that way. I mean, I could see probably it being the direction here. In fact, there's something right here, but it's indistinguishable. It's a little bit softer and deeper right here. Well, I think I see something here, but it's not. Could be coyote, no claws, but it's kind of, yeah, I mean, not kind of, it's really difficult to see. Looks like I'm coming up on the end of the trail here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just jump on the road and go back to kind of like where we started, but then make a start over and then make a right-hand turn and kind of go back into the area that's closer to where I spotted the Jaguarundi. All right, well, one of the trailheads is directly there. And then over here, I just want to turn right. This is where we were before, but this time I'm going to turn right. And the idea is that I'm going to head back towards the park entrance, and then off to my right should be where I spotted the Jaguarundi. The trail seems to be veering to the left, and that gives me a sense that right over in this area is where the spotting was. And there was a couple of game trails over in that area, but I didn't see any prints. I mean, a lot of bicycles, couple hooved prints. In fact, like here's a hooved one here. Yeah, let's venture forward here. Okay, there's some stuff going on here. So I can definitely see some off in the distance, like right over in there. There's some stuff going on, but looks like there's tracks going up, leading up to it here. So I'm gonna put this camera away and see if I can't distinguish something. All right, so that's definitely an interesting spot. I don't know enough about tracking, let alone what a javelina print looks like, but I think there was more than one animal there, so I'll definitely try to take a look and see what, I don't know, what I can learn about it. I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm not trying to pass myself off as an expert or anything. It's just, hey, I spotted something they say doesn't exist in Texas. I know what I saw, and I'm not trying to prove it, but, you know, just out here having fun, exploring, really. And speaking of which, I don't know how much more exploring I'm going to do, because it might start getting a little adventurous. It's coming up on 5 p.m. and you know, being winter, that translates to well, I don't want to be necessarily on the trail when the coyotes start running around. And so yeah, anyway, I think that's probably about it for the tracking. I am going to continue down here, so I'll turn the camera back on if I see anything. But that was pretty interesting for sure. All right, so look, I was really excited about spotting this Jaguarundi, and let me explain to you why I'm so confident. It was very, very close, and it was 2:30 in the afternoon. So I saw it. I was coming around a corner, so it wasn't like I was going 100 miles an hour. I had time to look at it. I saw the thing sitting there. I saw a really long back. I know that I knew it was a cat, and I knew it was a large cat. I thought it was a bobcat, but I was looking at its back and I was like, man, that is a huge bobcat. And then also the coloring wasn't really right for a bobcat, but those coloring can change on animals for different regions. So I just wasn't sure. And I was like thinking to myself, okay, that's cool. That's a bobcat. That's a bobcat. So as I was driving closer to it, it got up, and then I noticed as it was getting up, I was looking for its tail, and I noticed its back was really long and it was kind of like a dark brown. And as I was looking for its tail, I saw like a white tuft of hair basically on its butt. And I was like, oh, okay, there's the bobcat tail. But then right as I thought that, this huge tail came swinging out like it was sitting on its tail, or the tail was like on the other side. But anyway, it's just the tail started swinging out and around, and I was like, that was not a bobcat. And I was looking at it, and then I noticed that its legs were super short, which I was thinking still, okay, well, short legs, maybe it is a bobcat. But as it walked off, and it didn't really like it wasn't super scared. It didn't like me driving up, and it left, but it's not like it ran off. So I saw it walk off and into the bushes, and it was a Jaguarundi. I don't think anybody's gonna be able to convince me different. Now, I'm not trying to convince others. I mean, I guess I am kind of, but I mean, I don't have any evidence, right? But I did find some tracks, and tracks alone aren't really enough. They can be confusing to look at, and that sort of thing. So, especially with some of these cats, they don't, at least as I'm trying to research it. So that's the whole Jaguarundi story. I was excited to see it, and so I just wanted to share as much as I could with you guys in it, and that's why I wanted to include it in this video. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna wrap that up and call this a video right here. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.